Aloha artist, Miss Maggie here. This week we are going to create another artwork of an amazing habitat. First, we did our underwater coral reef with our pop-up honu. And then we went to Maui's wetlands and did the the Hawaiian stilt popping up off the paper. You've been working on your careful cutting, your beautiful coloring, and attaching things with those little paper loops. This week, we are going to go underwater yet again and visit the kohala, the whales. And so, just like the other projects, this week we're going to do the background, and then next week we will create some whales and attach them so they stand up. Whales, as you know, are very large, and so we are going to use our large watercolor paper today to make a beautiful background. And so, what are the supplies you're going to need for this project? Well, yeah, you're going to need that large watercolor paper. Big and bumpy and thick. Perfect. And also a small drawing paper. That will be helpful too. And a pencil and an eraser. And then we are going to be doing oil pastels. And we're also going to paint today. So you'll need your watercolors, a brush, your water, and a paper towel. So, what are we going to need? Large watercolor paper, small drawing paper, pencil, eraser, oil pastels, watercolors, brush, water, and paper towel. Go get those supplies and meet me right back here. And so right now, it is whale season. The humpback whales have swam all the way down from the waters off of Alaska to the waters right off of our own island. One of my favorite things to do is to go out in the water and put my head underwater, or at least my ears while floating on my back, and to listen to the whale's song. Have you heard the whale's song coming through the ocean? Oh, it's amazing. And so a lot of times, it's a single boy whale that is making this song. He goes motionless deep in the water, upside down with his tail up, and he sings this song. And the other whales listen in. And what's interesting is they all sing the same song, but the song doesn't always stay the same. Every year, it's a little bit different. And so, if you listen to the whale song this year, and then again next year, it will sound a little bit different. Now, here's a question. Do you know how you can hear the sound of the whales down at the beach, even if the whales are way out off of Molokini or something? Wow, it's an amazing thing. Sound travels as waves, not like ocean waves, but sound actually is waves of energy, and it travels through air, but it travels really well through water because water is thicker. And so today we are going to draw a bunch of wavy lines to imagine the whale song coming through the ocean. That is what our background is going to be. Wavy whale song turned into lines, however you imagine it. in the background of your paper. We'll draw those lines with pencil and oil pastel, and then I'll show you a really neat thing with watercolor to fill in the rest. So first, let's get out our small drawing paper so we can play with some ideas. One thing I'm going to do is I want to try a bunch of different whale song wavy lines. And so I'm going to divide my paper up into different areas. I'm going to use wavy lines to divide it up. So those lines are going to go from edge to edge. I'm going to do a wavy line like that. I'm going to do a wavy line like that. That one is smaller but has more bumps. Interesting. And I'm going to do a wavy line like that. Ooh, those are some interesting designs just on their own. So I've played with some wavy lines already. Each of these areas, I'm going to play with some more ways to use curvy and wavy lines. For instance, have you ever done lines like this? We're going to go loop, 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 loop. See how I'm being careful and even, but it's fun. The line just keeps going. And so this curvy line, it loops. So I've got my loopy line there, and I'm going to go all the way there. And I could do upside down loops too. Oh, I ran out of space though, so I'm just going to start it again over here. Upside down loops are fun. I'm just trying out different ways of using line right now, and you can find which ones you like best. What should I do in these areas? Maybe I will do some spirals. I love spirals. They are so much fun. If I run out of space to go off the edge, I just pretend it starts again. And I can even keep pretending to fill in there. Why not? What about down here? What am I going to do next? I'm going to do some diagonal wavy lines. They're going to go like this. Ooh, and you know what? I'm going to have to go up. I'm going to have to go the other way. They're following that wave. Interesting. I'm just finding this as I go. See what you notice. Oh, but they're getting wider apart and bring them closer together. These wavy lines, and they're closer together again. Maybe you found something different than me. See what you come up with, but remember, take your time with your pencil. Experiment and notice. Try out different ideas. What if I do a line like this? Oh, it's kind of like the one underneath it, but watch what I'm going to do next. I did that way, and now I'm going to go the opposite. So wherever that one was up, that one is down. Now up, down, up, down. Ooh, looks kind of like DNA. Neat. I think I need something in these areas. I'm going to do a spiral there and a spiral there. I'm going to do some other spirals too. These spirals are going to go the other direction. Starting to get filled in. What about that area there? Maybe I do a very tall wavy line. This is all just different curvy and wavy lines. How many different kinds can we come up with? It's amazing. So this is going to be a neat artwork all on its own, and all I'm doing is coming up with the ideas for what I'm going to do on my watercolor paper. Okay, that is neat. What next? I'm going to try this. I'm going to come off the edge. I'm going to spiral, spiral, spiral. Neat. And then I'm going to come out from here and do another spiral, spiral, spiral. And then the next one is going to start right like it was coming out of the spiral. Come around it and then be like an S that starts to spiral in. Come out from there, come out, S, and spiral in. Come out from there and go like that. When I find something that I like, I keep doing it across the paper. Did you ever have any idea that there were this many ways to use wavy and curvy lines? What amazing patterns and designs! What have you come up with? Okay, I think I'm ready for my big paper before I just start drawing all over it. Let's stop and think. Okay, I started with dividing it into a couple different areas. Do you want to use big wavy lines for that or tight little wavy lines for that? You decide. I'm going to do 3 wavy lines that go across to make my different areas. And I'm going to do that part in pencil. And so I'm going to go, the smaller one here at the top, near the top. And I'm starting at the edge, and I'm going across, across, even, and right off the edge. There we go. And again, you can do yours differently, but think about how you're going to do it. Take your time. This one, I'm going to do bigger and less waves, but they're bigger waves. There we go. And I'm going to do one more, and this one, I'm going to make the biggest, but also the least number of bumps. Woo! That's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas to play with. Now, I could just keep going with pencil, but I think I'm going to switch over to oil pastels for my wavy lines on this paper. And then, after we've done the oil pastels, we'll paint. This one, I use very soft colors, but I think for this one, I'm going to go for bright colors, and then I'll make it oceany by filling it in with blue. Paint of different values, dark, medium, and lighter. But let's make that whale song bright and exciting. Well, let's see, how shall I start? Well, I really enjoyed starting with those loop-the-loops last time. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? How big am I going to do these loop-the-loops? It's definitely different with oil pastels. They are different than the pencil. I have to draw everything larger because they don't have a fine point. But that's fine because I've also got a bigger paper. Almost to the end. I have to double check how far I have still to go. Now, how about this one next? Yeah, I'm going to do the upside down loops, but I'm going to do them wider. Wider like that. How are you imagining your whale song to look as it vibrates through the ocean? Ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that orange also, to go right over that line that I drew with pencil. Just so that's an oil pastel too. Okay, what color next? Purple. And I'm going to do a diagonal wavy line going back and forth like that. Yeah, I like that one. Going slowly, making it even as I go. Yeah, and then I'm going to change color to this purple here, and I'm going to do a wiggly line that follows those lines. Ooh, I like that. See how wherever there's space, I go up and I go back down, up and I go back down, up and down. What are you finding with yours? And then I'm going to do red. And I think I'm going to do another diagonal, but I'm going to make it like it's going the other way. Yes, diagonal wavy lines. Staying in the space, not going over my pencil lines that I made. Getting a little bit bigger there. Go for whatever colors you're inspired to do. But I'm going to show you something neat in this last section here. I'm going to take my white. I'm going to clean my white off. And I'm going to do some lines with the white. And so that's going to be really neat. What sort of line am I going to do? I think first, I'm just going to do a wavy line across. Ooh, that's really hard to see. Why am I doing this? You will see. But for now, I need to really look closely. I can see where it is so I don't draw my other designs over top of it. I'm going to do, I think this, but ooh, I want one of those helixes on it. Let me do a double helix. Okay, so I need to look closely. It starts here, and this is where it's up, and so I need to go down, and this is where it starts to go down. So I need to go up. I go down wherever it's up. I know you can't see it, but I can just barely see it. Ooh, yeah, that's going to look neat. And then I'm going to do a really wiggly, tall wiggle there. Tall, wavy line. I think I should put a little bit of another color in here besides just the white. Maybe I'll add some yellow again. I'm going to do a little wavy line at the bottom is what I'll do because that's all I have space for there. And maybe I'll do little spirals in some of the helix holes. Every other one. So it's like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. It's a pattern. This is full of designs and patterns. I'm going to look at the whole thing and go, what else does it need? Where else does it need color? You notice I'm not filling it in, but it is full of designs. And right here, there's the white design, even though you can't really see it yet. I noticed a couple more spots that I could put in some more wavy lines. They actually fit inside the other designs that I've made. What do you see in your drawing that you can still add? There you go. Always look at your artwork and find one more thing you can add, okay? Those last touches are part of what make it amazing. But I think now mine's there. It's ready for the next step. I'm going to put my oil pastels away and I'm going to get out my painting supplies. I've got a paintbrush, I've got my water, I've got my paper towel, and I've got my paints. So, how are we going to use paint in this artwork? Well, the ocean gets darker as it gets deeper. So I'm going to show you how to use your blue watercolor paint to paint both dark and light. When we use dark and light in our artwork, we call it value. So we're going to use dark values, some medium values, and some light values for filling in this background. And so, well, how do we do this? one of the best ways to start is with a watercolor wash. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to get it wet, I'm going to hold it like a pencil, I'm going to hold it on the metal part, and I'm going to use the side of the brush because I want to fill in. Not about details, about filling in, but I'm just filling in with water. And I'm filling in the bottom section, doing the bottom part first with water. And so I'm filling that with water all the way across, making sure I get everywhere right to the edges. Remember the edges and fill in on the inside. See, I'm going stroke, stroke, stroke. Seems like it acts a little funny on top of the white oil pastel. Ooh, that's going to be neat. And now I'm ready for paint. I want this to be the darkest blue I can make. So that means I need lots of blue. And so I'm going to take my brush and a little bit of water, and I'm going to swirl it in my blue. And I'm going to swirl it in my blue. I'm going to swirl it in my blue. I want lots of blue paint in there. Not too much water, lots of blue paint. We've got enough water on here already. Now, drop it in. Ooh, see how dark that is? It's flowing a little bit on its own, but also still I'm using the side of my brush to move that paint around and help it go where it needs to be. And then I get more paint. I'm going to go right to the edges. Oh, wow. Ooh, and more paint. And drop it in. And drop it in. Make it nice and even. Wow, that is neat. Ooh, down there, it looks like it's a little dry. So I am going to add a little water. If it's having trouble covering the paper, sometimes it does need more water. But if we have too much water, it's going to be a lot lighter. And we want this area to be deep and dark. And so we're making the darkest blue we can with our paint. And how about we make it even a little bit darker? I'm going to drop a little purple in. Why not? I'm going to wet my brush, grab a little purple, and drop the purple in. Not everywhere. I can decide where to put it. Ooh, I'm going to put it inside those spots. That's kind of neat. You can just barely see the difference. And on the top side of there, sometimes I just drop wherever, but I'm having fun putting it in specific spots too. Yeah, so now I've got purple and blue mixing together, so it's even darker. Why not? Lovely. I'm going to do the next section after this as dark as I can make it. I'm going to go and do this area, and I want this area to be a lighter value. It's a medium dark value. And so, how did I start this one? I started with water, right? And so, I'm going to paint water into this next wavy section. Lots of water, holding my brush carefully, filling it in, filling it in. I can paint right over the oil pastel parts, but I'm keeping it in our next wavy section. There we go. Filling that in. Did I get everywhere? I'm going to get everywhere in this section. I see a couple spots that are dry. That's no good. I want it to be wet. Ooh, it grabbed a little bit of the other color. That's okay. You'll see why. Okay, I think that area is all wet. Now, I need some blue again. But we don't want this blue to be as dark. So this time, I'm going to get blue and some water. We still want to be pretty dark, but not as dark. So let's see, if I drop the blue in this time and I spread it out. Oh, is that blue lighter? If it looks the same, then add more water. Okay? If it's looking too light, add more paint. I like how it's turning out right now. Yeah, oop, that's getting too light there, so I'll get more paint in there. A little more paint, oop, but not too dark, more water. And so I'm doing this area with value, with a medium dark blue. Ooh, I love how those yellow and orange spirals pop out of that medium dark blue. What's next? I bet you can figure it out. I'm going to wash my brush and fill in the next area with water. Watercolor wash is what it's called when we put the water on first, right? All the way down to this part, not going into it, but going next to it. And if it does touch and the color bleeds over, it's all right. It's all the ocean. The ocean flows. It takes a little while to paint, doesn't it? Getting that first layer of water takes patience, takes looking closely. Okay, my whale song is going to be vibrant and electric. How's yours coming along? I look forward to seeing them. So I'm going to take some water into my palette, and I've got a little bit of that leftover blue. Maybe I need a little bit more, and I'm going to test it in here. Is it lighter? That doesn't look lighter. I need more water in there. Does that look lighter yet? It doesn't yet. I need more water in there. I'm going to spread it out and make it very light. So I'm adding more water in there and spreading that blue out. See how that's starting to look lighter as I add water and then spread the paint out? It helps it go. I need a little more paint now, but lots of water. There we go. Spread it down. See how you can tell the difference? It's definitely lighter. Ooh. Yeah. It's lighter on the bottom part than the top part. Interesting. Lets me see the difference, but I want to add a little bit in there. Definitely different. It's a medium light blue. What do we do for the last part? What's the lightest blue you could possibly make? I wonder. I'm going to paint it with water, and then I'm going to think, well, how did we make it lighter each time? How are you going to mix the lightest blue possible? What's your plan? There we go. Looks like it's all blended in now. Always helps to look again. Okay, I think I'm just about there. A little more water on top. Sometimes the water soaks in and I need to add it again. That happens. I'm going to make the lightest blue I can. Take lots of water. Take a little bit of that light blue I mixed together before. More water, and let's test it. What do you think? Is that the lightest it can be? Should I add more water to it? I'm adding even more water. A little more paint. You can tell it's blue. And lots of water there. Making it even in that area. Ooh. Wow, I think mine's there. How is yours coming along? Do you have a very dark value blue? Do you have a medium dark value blue? A medium light value blue? And a very light value blue? How did you mix the colors lighter each time? What did you learn about using watercolor? Here is your reflection question. How do you want people to feel when they see your whale background? And why? Your answer might sound like, I want them to feel blank because blank. I can't wait to hear what you have to say and to see your artwork. This artwork is going to need a little bit of time to dry before you put it away because we used a lot of water, didn't we? So find a safe place for this artwork here. It's beautiful even without the whales swimming into it, isn't it? And also, clean up your paints. If you have some messy puddles, clean them up so they don't make a mess and your paints are ready for next time. Wash your brush, wipe it on a napkin, give it a hug so it has a nice tip for next time, and I'll see you then for when we make our whale. Ahui ho!